Welcome everyone to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, Walking Dead fans.
Hey guys, today we're here to review issue 179 of The Walking Dead, part 5 of 6 of the New World Order.
The New World Order arc, and it's getting intense, guys. A lot of things are happening, and...
Not really intense.
Well,
a lot is happening.
For me, it was intense finding more information of we're now finding out really who the Commonwealth really are.
Yeah.
So, they're...
That's true.
They're a bunch of a-holes.
Yeah, they are.
So we kind of immediately pick up where the conversation was from the previous issue, where Elodie kind of says we need to kind of set, what does she say? We need to know where we stand, or we need to, I think she kind of says that kind of line, and Michonne immediately questions that, like, what are you talking about?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Mm-hmm. And we need to know our place. That's what she says. So, Sebastian cuts in and he's saying, well, you owe my family.
It means you owe us
my
everything.
Family. Yeah, you owe us everything.
Basically, like, for taking them into the community, Sebastian thinks that, he's...
But they came willfully. It wasn't like they just found the location by themselves and you allowed us in. I didn't like that part. It's kind of annoying.
There's a term, affluenza.
Yeah.
And that is what Sebastian has. And that is when you come from a wealthy family... you tend to be given the silver spoon, and that's kind of that's kind of like what Sebastian acts like here. So
yeah. So even like, and then Mercer cuts in and says, your mother lets you get away with a lot, but you really shouldn't be, being so aggressive to these people. And he actually slaps Mercer in the face to say,
smacks him.
I did it to teach a lesson. And then he immediately has that that whipped dog look, like you can see the look on his face, like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that, because Mercer's looking at him like, I'm gonna cut your head off.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna kill you.
And he's like, you should just leave right now. And he's like, yep, I'm out.
Yep.
So, and what's interesting about the next part is, like, Mercer is explaining, hey, the Commonwealth isn't all that bad. You'll probably go months or weeks without seeing that.
Yeah, he says
because there's still, from what he's saying, there is like 50,000 people.
Yeah,
it's kind of true.
There's so many people that the chances of us running into a scene like that very rarely happens.
Yeah. So Michonne's just like, it doesn't make it right. But Mercer is kind of going back to his ways, saying everything's good here, it's cool. And then he looks over at Sadiq like, so now you understand why people blow off steam sometimes? Because Sadiq caught him and the other guy talking like they wanted to take over. Sadiq's like, yeah,
definitely,
it's cool, yeah. But the next part's cool is that Michonne picked up on that, and she asked Sadiq, what were you talking about, this blowing off? What was he talking about, this blowing off steam thing? And Sadiq goes into it.
Sadiq comes clean and pretty much says that he walked in on an uncomfortable conversation that Mercer and the fellow military gentleman guard was talking about. Basically, they could kill the whole family if they wanted to, and
it seemed like they were planning to do it, but
take over.
Yeah. So, and then Elodie was like, "No, Mercer wouldn't do that. He's not like that. He's." Probably, like he said, blowing off steam, and there's no way that Mercer would do that.
And Stephanie agrees. Stephanie says, "Look, I know Mercer. I agree."
She makes one weird comment. She mentions about the upper class. She's like, she mentions about the upper class, and Michonne says upper class. So basically, in this community, as to why the governor looks so, so clean, so proper, is whatever you were in your previous life, because they ask you all these questions. If you were a lawyer, a doctor, or somebody high level who made a lot of money, then in this Commonwealth community, you are part of the high class. You're part of the rich. If you were lower in, class, those are the people that are doing a lot of the handiwork, a lot of the manual labor. So they've segregated themselves, which Michonne kind of understands, because she says, well, you're kind of rebuilding a society. So I understand it, but it's not.
Yeah, and she also says we don't have that in Alexandria because we haven't gotten to that point. But I kind of understand what's going on here, because Elodie and Stephanie also explain, look, it's not just that you're placed into these classes and you're stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have a chance to move up the chain.
Right.
And what they do is they explain, like, every year you're evaluated and you have the right, kind of like a promotion, to move up in class.
Elodie says they look at the upper class as like inspiration to do better, to work your way up there.
It's still not right.
No.
And Magna
immediately
does not agree with, basically, seeing Michonne and the rest of the group kind of being like, oh yeah, it kind of does make sense. Magna's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, or do you hear what you're listening to?
Right. She doesn't like it at all. But what's interesting though is Michonne finally kind of gives an example of this, because even Magna was like, so what did you do, Michonne? You were a lawyer, right?
Yeah, because
I bet you made a lot of money.
Yeah, that's her kind of insinuating, well, you're straight, you're going to go right up to the upper class, and we're going to be straight middle class, lower class.
Yeah, so Michonne makes a really good example of how we're kind of doing this already. She says, take the hilltop, for example. Not everybody sleeps in the house. There's people
in the main mansion.
Mm-hmm. There's people sleeping in the trailers. So it's kind of segregated as well. I mean, they're not considered high class or upper class, but there's specific people who go in the house and others that live in the trailer. So she's giving examples, and it makes sense, but it's still not. The Commonwealth, I think, is to the extreme ways. So yeah,
it all makes sense as to, in the beginning when we met, was it Hornsby?
Yeah, Lance.
Yeah. How they only wanted to speak with someone of intelligence, mm-hmm. or they were asking when the group first showed up, what is it that you do again? What are you? Oh, you're a lawyer, Michonne, then come with us and you can talk to the governor.
They're trying to put them in the rightful place, I would say.
In the end, Magna pretty much says, look, you guys can ignore your conscience. I'm going to be just fine. I'm not staying here.
Once I get back, I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
So the next part's cool is that they're kind of walking through the town. We get to see more people, and mm-hmm. Elodie is kind of saying that, what's she really talking about? She's mostly just talking about the area. Stephanie and Sadiq, Eugene, and the princess are sitting down. They're kind of talking about the guards.
Yeah, they talk about the guards, saying that the guards that are situated in the town are really just trainees. Mm-hmm. Like, these are the guards that they're first training, and then the guards outside the gates or in the outskirts of the city are the more trained army.
Yeah. Did you notice that if you look at Princess right here, doesn't it look like she's wearing a Jason mask?
Yeah, it does.
I was like, is that Jason? Oh, it's it's Princess. Yeah. So it's just interesting, and it's funny because even Yumiko kind of says, ooh, they have good ice cream. You sure you don't want to try it, Magna? Like, trying to get her to be like, open up to it a little bit.
One thing that I do want to point out that Elodie said is they're actually having dinner one night, and Elodie says, look, I don't usually get to go to places like this. They must be trying to impress you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It doesn't seem like they do it too often for people coming in. And
it almost seems like if this group wasn't here, everything would be back to normal, and Elodie would basically just be eating scraps, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We do get confirmation that, yes, they do have football games.
It was awesome seeing a football panel in there.
It was cool. And even like Michonne says, oh, this is great. And Magna kind of says, okay, yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm getting used to it a little bit.
And I get it, right? Now we get like a couple of pages of them actually having a good time, and the community's pulling them in, and they're starting to warm up to the idea of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The next piece is a conversation between Michonne and Lance. Yep. He is kind of saying, look, our fair governor is scheduled to go meet your leader here pretty soon. And I was kind of hoping that you would stay behind. Now, he does give out to say, I know that you've been enjoying your time with your daughter.
In a cryptic way.
But that's not the real reason he wants her to stay behind. Yeah. He wants her to stay because of her previous station in life and how that could advance the Commonwealth because she was a lawyer.
Yeah.
So,
also referencing, hey, you are going to be pretty comfortable here. You're like, you're going to live pretty comfortable here because you are a lawyer. So
yeah,
it's the high class talking to the high class.
It is.
And you notice that, like, if you think about it, Lance isn't having these conversations with Magna or even Eugene for that matter. Like, immediately they're attracted to someone with high
just higher station. I mean, a lawyer, so
status.
Right. A lawyer is, you know, they made probably pretty decent money. They're well educated. They're, you know, they're smart. So that's just what they're drawn to, and that's what they want to build their high society with, and leave the rest to do all their bidding. Yeah. So, which sounds mean, but it's what they do. Yeah.
So he basically doesn't want Michonne to come to the welcoming party.
Yeah.
And we flip over to the next page of the farewell. Right.
The governor's dressed like she's going on a safari.
Yeah.
She's all proper, ready to go.
This is the governor getting ready to leave the Commonwealth and make her way towards Alexandria. There's guards there, obviously. It looks like what appears she's getting into a freaking wagon.
A special wagon for her with like one of her assistants that comes with her. She's saying her goodbyes to Sebastian, and it's funny because she's like, you know what? Just listen to Mercer, do what he says, stay here, have fun.
Do you want to say it?
F your girls.
Go your girls.
Yeah, go have fun with your girlfriends. Do your normal things. Just be cool and be fine. And you could tell that he's pretty pampered by her because he kind of gets embarrassed, like, oh, don't talk to me that way, mommy. You know, it's like he's pretty pampered. So,
this is where we get Michonne telling Eugene, I'm not going to come with you. And Eugene saw it coming. He's a smart guy. He knows that, her daughter's here, haven't seen her in a while. So he gets it. But what we didn't see coming was Michonne is handing over her sword and says, bring this to Rick.
Give it to Rick. Once Rick sees this, he will know exactly, by giving this to Rick, I don't really have to say much. He will know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. And he knows, So what's interesting about this is that the line that Michonne says, she says, it's not who I was and it's not who I am anymore. I don't need it. So I don't know if her story is ending for a while. We'll have to wait and see how this arc ends and how the new arc begins. But we could be maybe not seeing Michonne for a while. Yeah. So we'll see. But it was kind of hard to see. I mean, I kind of knew that. I figured either she was going to bring Elodie with her or she was going to stay.
Yeah, so, and it would have been interesting if Elodie would have been allowed to leave.
There's probably a process.
They were allowed to leave. But
right.
So she ends up basically saying to Eugene, look, the governor's got this handled. However, you are bringing a pretty superior force with you to greet Rick and Alexandria.
Yeah, and the panel shows them walking away, and I will tell you guys, I literally counted every single guy, and there's about 40 dudes.
Now,
41
when
guys.
You and I were talking about this, you said, look, did you see how many troops they were bringing? And I told you, well, that's not really that many. However, what I did say to you after that was 40 troops with assault rifles and that kind of gear on is pretty intimidating.
So if you see, if Rick is down below and he sees them, all these dudes coming over a hill, you're going to be like, what the heck is this? Especially the way that they're dressed. So it was pretty interesting. And did you notice how this, I don't know if you saw it on your comic, how this page is like darker, glossier and darker? Yeah. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's rare.
It's an error.
So we kind of get with the group traveling. Sadiq and Eugene are just kind of talking. He's like, hey, I saw that you and Stephanie were kind of getting close. He's like, congrats, man. Good job.
It was weird because you literally just confessed to Eugene that you had an affair with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And here you are excited for him about being with Daphne.
Yeah. And
get it?
Yeah, Daphne.
Get it?
What?
She looks like freaking Daphne from
Outcast?
No. Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Is it Daphne?
Yeah, I think it's Daphne. Yeah.
Is it Daphne?
Yeah, I think it is. I'm like confused for a second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, she does look like the chick from Scooby-Doo, yeah. But yeah, Eugene's like, oh, it's fine. We're just friends. It's no big deal. It was just a quick little thing.
No, but then he's like, we're just friends for now. He basically hints that I'm going for that.
I'm gonna get it. Cool little quick thing with the princess. She's very excited to see Alexandria. She's so excited. She says, "I can't wait to meet Rick Grimes. He seems like a rad dude." But her thing is she's like, "I can't believe that I have choices now. I have a choice to where I want to live." So she's thoroughly excited.
Which is funny because you could tell Magna and Yumiko were annoyed, and they're like, "Oh yeah, maybe you might like the hilltop."
Yeah, we get a double panel of them just outside of Pittsburgh, crossing the bridge.
What's cool about this is they're making their way out. Last double panel we had of Pittsburgh, they were making their way in. So it was cool seeing that.
Yeah. So we get kind of like their first night, that they had to spend, and Yumiko is kind of like the governor has her own little tent. Everybody's sleeping outside. Yumiko kind of makes a thing like, "You don't think that she could let some of us in? It's big enough." And they're like, "Oh, don't be too loud. Someone will hear you." So it's kind of like, is that thing again. She's high class. She has to have her own little tent by herself, and everyone else sleeps outside like they normally do.
Yeah. We do get a conversation between the governor and Mercer. The governor's prying Mercer for information on the new crew. And all that is discussed here is that Mercer says, the lawyer could be an asset to our community.
No, he mentions Eugene.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That Eugene, who's very smart and intelligent, could be an asset.
He kind of references, he could probably build a car for us for all we know. He's really smart.
Yeah, if he took all day to learn, he could build a car.
Yeah, so that's the only one that he mentioned. And
that's right.
Yeah, so we cut away that Eugene is like saying that we're not too far away, and as they approach Alexandria, the governor sticks her head out the window and says, "What a shithole." And then there's like her I don't know, her
Lance.
Is that Lance?
Is it? Let me see.
I can't tell.
I think that's Lance.
I thought it was like maybe one of her other.
No, I think
assistants.
That's Lance.
Yeah, she's like, "Absolutely, madam." It's like, oh my god, these freaking people. Yeah. So, and I guess like I was kind of confused with this part because it seemed like Eugene and Magna kind of rode ahead.
They did. Well, what they did, they made it seem like Eugene purposely led the army, the troopers, away from the camp first, and then rode ahead, catching back up to the caravan.
Yeah, so he didn't want the troops just rolling up on there before, because he wants to talk to Rick first and let him know what's coming.
Yeah,
to let him know. And he's like, "I just hope these people are going to stay nice, as they are right now, for their sake."
Yeah.
Because Rick. You've already seen the cover for issue 180, so, man, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did throw us off on this cover.
They did.
I mean, they make it seem like,
dang it, Kirkman.
Eugene's got some, in trouble there. And here our next issue is Rick with a whole line of troops. That may not be the case.
It was kind of also for 178. I mean, yes, the princess did kind of fight a little bit, but the cover seemed like it was going to be more intense.
It was more like a revolt. Like she was in trouble.
Right. That one's a true throw off.
It'd be interesting to get a little backstory on the governor and Hornsby
I would like to.
And all of the elite, because I get the sense that like they're a community that has never really, or they're a group of people that are high class and have never had to travel outside the walls and encounter walkers. They've always had these troops there with them.
Exactly. Yeah, it seems that way too.
That might come into play as we progress through issues.
Yeah. Well, we have one more arc of this, and then it depends on one more issue of the arc, and then depends on where the story goes from there. I would love to see some more backstory. Where did all these 50,000 people come from? Why are they all so submissive to this line of kind of, I wouldn't say it's a dictatorship, but it's kind of cruel to a sense, I mean, it's, I don't know. I want more. I just want more.
It's like they're distracting their community with all the nice things that they have. And hey, live this better life, but follow our rules or you won't have this life.
You'll start from here. Look at me. I'm high class. I'm an inspiration for you to do better.
It's almost like here's District 1 and here's all the other districts feeding District 1.
Exactly.
I'm getting a Hunger Games type of feeling out of this.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting. You know, I can't wait for any Walking Dead issue.
Yep.
But I wonder if we're going to get a little bit more backstory. And God, where is Negan?
Yeah, that's kind of forgot about that. You know, we haven't seen him in a while. He's kind of doing his own thing. So maybe we'll get something down the line, but we'll see. It'd be cool to have Negan. Maybe there's a battle and Negan comes back to Alexandria and helps out. Starts bashing people with maybe a new Lucille, something different, you know. But make sure you guys also pick up the awesome Carl variant from Bill Sienkiewicz. Very cool variant. We do enjoy it, that one. So yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it was
our second to.
It was kind of second. Yeah, it was. You know, it's better than the Andrew one.
Yeah, So, but the Alpha one.
Ooh, cannot wait.
Can't wait for that one.
Can't wait. So let us know your thoughts on The Walking Dead issue 179. What are your feelings on the Commonwealth? Do you think that they're just putting a shield over everyone's eyes and just kind of leading a dictatorship? Or, you know, let us know your thoughts of what's going to happen in issue 180 at the end of this arc.
All right.
Yeah. All right. No outro for Josh today. I'm going to do it all.
I'm out of it.
Follow us at
NocBro Nation
on Twitter and Facebook.
Gosh, and you're so better at the outro than me.
I know. We like to have fun with you guys. All right, guys. Stay tuned for issue 180 coming soon. We'll see you next time. We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.